for
the accountability as to who.
Accountability report.
Part of that, essentially to see whether there were any lapses, and if lapses, then who should be held accountable. Is something which is part of every such episode that plays out. We are more concerned in terms of ensuring that the rectification is done as expeditiously as possible, and that there is no loss or inconvenience to the customers. These are our priorities essentially. That's something which we deal with on priority, then deal with fixing people.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, with your kind permission, last 4 questions.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Towards the right, sir, we'll have Mr. Piyush from Hindu Business Line. Oh, sorry, towards the left. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Governor, DGs. Thanks, Punit, sir. Sir, on gold loan, essentially, NBFCs have LTV of around 70 to 80%, and banks have around 60 to 70%. So when you say you will harmonize the norms, will you bring that to a common level? Separately, sir, you spoke about failures of the relative lesser number of failures of banks. In terms of NICB, you've given some relaxation as well. But have you assessed, sir, what is the actually, the fraud that happened, the amount, and will you actually let the bank accept customers again? I mean, will you remove the restriction, or the impact is so severe that you may not be able to do so? Thanks. Also, sir, just a clarification, the accommodator stance, is it, is it unanimous, or there was a...
I mentioned it in my statement that it is unanimous.
There's no mention in the statement.
So it was unanimous. We missed that part. So it was unanimous. Certainly, all the members voted, all the members decided unanimously. There was no vote on that, but all of them decided unanimously that they feel that going forward, the trajectory is actually an easing trajectory. LTV, you will soon, have the guidelines. Let's not speculate. You will soon have, the guidelines with respect to the gold loans. And what was your other question that you had?
NICB, sir, will you remove the...
Entities, we don't get into. Our effort, what is there, DG Swaminathan has already mentioned, what our effort is to protect, the consumers, the customers, to protect their interests. And going forward, see, how best we can salvage the situation and improve the situation. That's our effort for all entities. And similar will be the case, even in this case.
Thank you, sir. And now towards the right, Mr. Siddharth from Informist Media.
Thank you, sir. Afternoon, Governor. The RBI has assumed an exchange rate of 86 per dollar for FY26 in its CPI GDP projections, and that there will be no major structural policy changes. Are we to take from that the RBI expects very little pressure on the rupee from the ongoing tariff war, if you want to call it, and that India and the US may not be able to strike an agreement of any sort in this year? Second, on liquidity, why is the RBI still conducting VRRs when there is so much surplus liquidity, excess of almost 1.5 lakh crores? Is there any threshold? Is there any framework governing that? Or is it that you think the distribution is skewed and there's increased preference for holding on to liquidity from banks? Thank you.
Your second question first. Liquidity, the VRR, actually, it is one particular entity or a bank may need, liquidity while the whole system is in surplus. Of course, we would like, that the banks amongst themselves lend and borrow so that, this VRR, and I think in my last statement also, I made a mention of this, so that we don't have to do this. But still some banks prefer, to come to the Reserve Bank. And so that's why, we don't want to curtail that opportunity for them. So that's why, that is there. The second question, is a very difficult question, as to what, going forward the exchange rate is going to be, and how things are going to play out. I already mentioned, I really, we believe, that 80, so this is our baseline assumption, and we have said, that there are risks, on the both sides, and you have seen it. In the past 3-4 months also, rupee going, one end and then, going the other end. So you really don't know, how so uncertain that you really can't take a bet on what's going to happen in the near or in the, medium term.
Thank you, sir. Next, we'll have Mr. Sachin Kumar from Financial Express.
Good afternoon, Governor. My question was on a similar line.
It's all about sentiments, no? See, things changing, overnight, one day, each day.
So, sir, my question is on that despite severe liquidity deficit in the January, February, March, we saw banks parking nearly 1.5 lakh crore in the SDF, and this is despite last time you mentioned that banks should be actively trading among themselves. So, what is your do you think there is a need for some regulatory intervention to prevent this trend?
I don't think there is any regulatory need for it. The markets will play out. We need to make markets more efficient, I think. So this intervention from the Reserve Bank is not required, and it's a very small portion. It's not very high. The VRR is about 23 last year. Yesterday was about 23,000 when we had a surplus of about 150,000 crore. It's not negligible, but it's not very high also.
Thanks.
थैंक यू सर. आखिर में मैं श्यामा जी फ्रॉम दूरदर्शन आप अपना प्रश्न पूछें.
नमस्कार सर. सर रिसेंट आप उसके बाद यूसीबी से मिले भी थे. और जो कोऑपरेटिव सेक्टर बैंक्स हैं उनकी सेहत को लेकर आप क्या कहेंगे और एक आम कस्टमर को किस प्रकार से आश्वासन देना चाहिए?
नहीं, जैसे मैंने कहा कि जो हमारा पूरा बैंकिंग सेक्टर है, और जब मैं बैंकिंग सेक्टर की बात कर रहा हूँ तो उसमें हमारा जो अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक सेक्टर है वो उसके अंदर में सम्मिलित है. तो कुल मिलाकर के बैंकिंग सेक्टर के जो भी फाइनेंशियल्स हैं वो अच्छे हैं, सुदृढ़ हैं. अगर आप अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक की भी बात करते हैं तो उनका भी जो क्रेडिट CRAR है वो अच्छा सुदृढ़ 15% से ऊपर है. और साथ ही साथ आप देखिए वो एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभा रहे हैं. आज के दिन में करीबन 5-5.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए के डिपॉजिट्स जो है वो विभिन्न लोगों से वो ले रहे हैं, और लगातार इसमें वृद्धि हो रही है. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये श्रिंक कर रहा है. लगभग 8-8.5-9% प्रति वर्ष पिछले 20 वर्ष में अगर कोई सेक्टर यदि बढ़ रहा है तो एज अ सेक्टर, एज अ सिस्टम जो है वो उसकी शक्ति और उसके महत्व को बताती है. कुछ एक बैंक्स ज़्यादा कदा, जैसे मैंने कहा, वो NBFC भी हो सकता है, वो शेड्यूल्ड कमर्शियल बैंक भी हो सकता है, UCB भी हो सकता है. वो इस प्रकार के एपिसोड्स ज़्यादा कदा वो आएंगे, और उसके लिए हम जो भी कार्रवाई आवश्यक होगी, जो कि आवश्यक है, वो हम करेंगे.
Thank you, sir. With this, we come to the close of this conference. I thank the Governor and the Deputy Governors for taking the questions. Thank you all, and I wish you a pleasant day.
Thank you. Thank you.